How are you? Welcome to my kitchen again. I'm Jeff Smith, the Frugal Gourmet, and today we're going to continue our discussion of entertaining. Normally the term entertaining implies a large investment, doesn't it? But that doesn't have to be the case. I want to talk to you today about entertaining with pasta, and I mean nothing but pasta. I'm going to show you an entire buffet of pasta. Oh, I don't want you to eat them all at once, but it might be fun to put out 2 or 3 pastas for a buffet and a green salad, a glass of wine, and you're all set. Remember, the problem with normal entertaining is that you don't have a good time. You're the cook, you see. And entertaining means that you should take care of everyone. The term entertainer is not just for the people who come in. They're to be entertained, but surely you treat yourself well, too. So cook things that you can put on the buffet, and once you have everything on the buffet, you're all set to go. Problem with pasta is that a couple of the dishes you have to cook at the last minute. That's the disadvantage. So do some planning ahead, and I'll show you how to save some time. It'll work. First of all, I want to prepare a salad for you out of tortellini. And the tortellini, this is kind of a funny salad. If you're a young person, I think you'll be amused by what I'm going to show you. I'll put some tortellini into the bowl. I pre-cooked these. Don't overcook tortellini. There, that's enough. This is a very popular kind of salad at the moment. It's easy to do. Do you know what a tortellini is? It's a little stuffed pillow. Actually, it's not a pillow. It's a long, it's a square noodle, and they stuff the noodle and then fold it in upon itself, you see? It's very tiny. Do you know where it gets its name? They claim that this is shaped, look at how beautiful, this is shaped like the belly button of Venus. So what we're really making for our guests and for ourselves is belly button salad. Are you ready? All right, put a mound of good belly buttons in the bowl, and we're going to add to that some frozen peas that we've simply rinsed in cold water so that they're no longer frozen. There, and now a quick dressing. We want a normal vinaigrette. It's not complicated. It takes about 4 tablespoons of wine vinegar. I have this recipe down pat. And then we need to add the juice of 1 lemon. And when you use a lemon, remember that the freshness of the lemon depends upon its packaging. And the best way to buy a lemon is to buy it with a lemon skin on it. That's what God meant when God said, lemon be. This is what she got. The idea of using those bottled, well, we don't have to go through that sermon again, do we? Please don't use that stuff. It's not good for you anyhow. And it doesn't cleanse your tongue, as good lemon juice will do. Then you start using more salt. You know, when one sin leads to another, then you're stuck. All right, now we need a bit of salt. Just a smidgen, though, not much. Don't put too much in here. And then there's some garlic, and you can't put in too much garlic. How about if I try about 3 cloves, huh? And that should do us, because we want to just brighten this salad up. We don't want to burden it. We have other things on the buffet that also will have garlic in them. That's a bad-looking clove. Where did I get that one? We don't need that. There we are. How did a bad clove creep into my kitchen? Who knows? Who knows? There we are. Okay, that's enough garlic. The greatest garlic lover will appreciate this one. You know, as I've been traveling around the country and visiting you in bookstores and food fairs and all that sort of thing, more of you have come to me and said, gee, the garlic show was my favorite show. You really are into garlic, aren't you? And that's good, because it's very good for you. It's very good for you. Now we need the olive oil, and we're going to add about ½ cup. There we are. And now we have the wine vinegar, the lemon, the salt, the garlic, and the olive oil, and now we're going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Now, please don't use American mustard. By that, I mean the weenie mustard, you know, hot dog mustard. You see how light the color is on this, how beautiful it is? It isn't bright with turmeric, and turmeric is very sharp in flavor. I don't care for it. So I want you to use a nice light mustard, a Dijon, and if you want to buy an American brand, then, something like Grey Poupons or French's has a Dijon mustard out, too. A lot of them have them out. But don't buy the old plain weenie mustard. Okay, the dressing is ready. It goes on our salad, belly button salad of peas and tortellini, which you've cooked ahead of time, the tortellini, that is to say. And Then you put it in cold water and then drain it so that it's not going to stick together. And we'll toss that a bit. And what does it need? Oh, some pepper, I suppose. And we have our first course, or one of several courses of pasta. Celebrating pasta for entertaining. There, that'll be beautiful. This is very, very nice. I'm sure you'll want some pepper on that. And I'm going to add some Parmesan or Romano cheese, grated. There, that'll do it. Now we need some parsley for a garnish. That's enough, okay. And we'll put that one out for our guests. And we'll go on to another one. This next one is a bit strange for you, I think, because normally when you think of ravioli, you think of ravioli that's been boiled and then served with a red sauce. But try this. I stole this recipe. I absolutely stole this recipe from a marvelous place in Washington, D.C. And friends, if you're in Washington and watching now, Washington, D.C., I salute Mrs. Simpson's restaurant. Mrs. Simpson, you remember, was the wife, eventually the wife of King Edward the, oh Lord, I don't remember what his number was. But in my childhood, I heard this story, this great love story about Mrs. Simpson and the king in cahoots. And he finally left his throne. He abdicated his throne to marry Mrs. Simpson. And a fellow in Washington, D.C. just loves that story. And he has a restaurant that you won't believe. It's wonderful food. And it's called Mrs. Simpson's. The walls are covered with English things and pictures of the wedding and pictures of the relationship between the king and this Mrs. Simpson, who's from Baltimore, of all places. She was a commoner from America. You see, they couldn't have that. So in order to marry this woman, he left the throne. All of this is by way of introduction to a dish that they serve at Mrs. Simpson's, and it's fried ravioli. Very strange and very different. Let me show you what to do. Get your pan good and hot with a bit of olive oil in it, and I have pre-cooked my little pillows, the little fat pillows, you see. They're marvelous. Whoops, that one's sticking together here. We don't want to do that. This is a marvelous dish, and it's easy to do, but you don't want to cook the ravioli too long to start with, just until it's barely tender. And then, let's see, I'll pick out a couple of more good ones here. And into the frying pan they go. Hot olive oil. And we're going to brown them a bit. I'm not worrying much about using the olive oil. I know you're wondering about the fat content and all that, but olive oil is really not very difficult in your system at all. It's much better than any kind of animal fat, and we're now finding that it's just as light in terms of cholesterol content and helping you rid yourself of cholesterol as are any of the lighter oils. So I use it and enjoy it because the flavor is wonderful. Now let's toss these about a bit. Okay, there we go. They're going to need some time to brown. I just want to brown them very, very quickly. See, I've pre-cooked the ravioli. No, I didn't make my own. If you want to do that, I'm proud of you. These were frozen, but that's all right. That's all right. They have some dried ones in the market now, too. Have you seen those from Italy? I find them a little tough. Though the tortellini was dried, it comes in a big package all dried, and that turns out well. But something this big doesn't seem to work as well. We'll let those brown for just a minute, and I'll get a platter ready so we can serve these. There we go. And you know what I'm going to put on them? When I saw this on the menu at Mrs. Simpson's, I couldn't believe it. What a strange thing. I'm going to put Roquefort cheese dressing on these. You heard me. You heard me. Roquefort cheese dressing, and put them out. They'll be kind of hot and crunchy. I suppose they're a cross between a perverse crepe lock and a wonton gone astray. All right? We'll see if it works. If you don't understand either of those terms, I'm really very sorry because you're not eating well. You've never tasted a good crepe lock. That's a Jewish dish. It's wonderful food. And of course, you understand the Chinese wonton. Did the Chinese invent stuffed noodles? I don't know. That's difficult to say because we find these noodles appearing in both China and in Italy at the same time. So it's hard to tell. That's about right. Those are about done. You might want to brown yours a little bit more. But see the nice brown color we have now? That'll do it. This is the one we want. Okay, let's put these on a platter, and we'll serve them. They go right on the buffet like this. And people are going to come up to you, and they're going to look at that one, and they're going to say, this is the fun of entertaining. They're going to say, oh, what's that one? And you're going to say, why, it's nothing, my dear, except fried ravioli and a bit of Roquefort cheese dressing. Use your own dressing. You can make up a good one. There we are. It's very unusual. I know it looks strange to you, But isn't this going to be fun to find? Don't you want to find things on your own buffet that turn you on and tickle you? That's the whole point here. There we go. And we'll put out our second one as we continue to entertain with pastas. I'm going to use a old Italian-looking color pattern, but actually it has the French fleur-de-lis on it, so we can't call it Italian at all. Now, for our third one, as we continue entertaining with pasta, I must thank a cabbie here in Chicago. I jumped into a cab one night, and the man went into hysteria because he's been wanting to give me this recipe for so long, and he didn't know how to reach me, and honest to God, I was terrified. We were roaring along the streets. We must have driven over 4 or 5 cars as he recited this recipe for me. He's a nice cabbie, but he's a Chicago cabbie, and you've got to watch out for those guys because they love food and they love to talk, so be careful. Here we go. This is what his wife prepares for him, and he absolutely loves it. Obviously, from the way he talked, he can cook too. I have in a bowl green onions, not onions, those aren't onions, those are olives. Green olives, good quality green olives, and I've chopped them up, you see, and soaked them in a little olive oil, and he said, you've got to do this for 2 days. Soak these for 2 days in olive oil. You got that? All right. At the end of that time, you're ready, and don't put it in the refrigerator because the olive oil will solidify. Just leave it out. Olive oil doesn't have to be refrigerated all the time. Did you know that? Unless you buy it by the gallon. If you buy it by the quart, you'll use the quart before it will ever go rancid. You don't have to worry about it. It's not as fragile as most oils. So into our frying pan. Now the pan's very hot. I'm going to put the olives. Fried olives? Well, yes. That's exactly what we're cooking. We're cooking fried olives this morning. And we're going to put a bit of, oops, there it is. Don't want that to fall in the sink. We'll put some garlic into that, and I think I'll just slice it right in. You don't have to chop it up. I'd like it in nice big fat pieces. I don't mind running across a chunk of garlic, do you? In your eating, huh? Throw it right in there. He says when he comes home and smells the odor of the garlic and olives cooking, that it's just, he just renews his whole relationship with his wife. So I think she's a smart woman. She knows what she's doing. And if she were really smart, she'd stop cooking entirely and make him do it. Then we'd see some action, wouldn't we? All right, 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. Let's toss that. Now, it's about done. That's all there is to it. Isn't that amazing? Now, while that's finishing, let me get some half and half. Oh, you can use cream if you like, of course. We'll get the pasta into the pot. Here's another trick for entertaining. You can't cook all the pasta at the last minute. So cook it ahead of time until it's almost just about done, and then drain it and put it in a pot of cold water so that it isn't sticky together. And then you pick out some. Here we go. Oh, that's really caught. I've got the whole world stuck on my thumb here. Here it is. And this is linguine. And just as I want to serve it, I'll pop it into hot water. And I think that's about, turn down our olives. Now we have olives and garlic in the pan with the olive oil. And now we're going to add some half and half or cream. You can do whatever you prefer. Just pour it right in there and let that cook for a minute. It'll reduce just a bit, you see. I put in, about 1/4 of a cup, I suppose. Oh, that's not true. I bet I put in at least half a cup. I shouldn't lie to you because I'll hear from it. I remind you, if you're going to write me and you expect a response, please enclose a self-addressed stamped envelope, will you? It's the only way my secretary and I can keep track of your letter, and sure I'll answer. Sure I'll answer. I'd love to. Okay. Now, of course, we're going to need some cheese and some pepper on this. Let me shut this down here. It's going to boil too hard on us. I'm going to move it off the burner. There we are. And we'll get our bowl ready now. Place the pasta in the bowl, right out of the old, we don't burn down the house. There we are. Do you teach your children about kitchen safety? You must. Have fire extinguishers nearby. Tell them they must never put their arm over a hot burner. That sort of thing. Teach them and help them. All right. Enough of that. And we'll put the sauce on. The sauce consists of olives, green olives, pitted, of course. You take out your own pits. Don't buy them pitted ahead of time. That's a mild California olive. I want you to use a European olive. And a bit of garlic sauteed with the olive oil. You soak the olives in the olive oil for a couple of days ahead of time. On goes the sauce with a little bit of cream. And now we need some pepper. Where's my pepper shaker? Here's one. And oh, what would you put on it? How about some grated Romano or Parmesan? Huh? We'll toss that and put it out for our buffet. You see, the flavors here are so very different that it doesn't matter if you're repeating, if you'll pardon the expression, the filler. That's okay. So it's pasta. That's all right. You'll have a good time with it. And a little parsley, and we have pasta with onion, with olive, which I think is a very unusual dish, and I think you'll enjoy it. All right, let's go on. The third one, 1, 2, 3. The fourth one, I want to try to make a quick stuffed shell. Now, you've probably done this with your recipe, but I want you to do it with mine and understand that it's very, very simple. I have parsley all over the kitchen this morning. There it is. Okay. We've got some beef or Italian sausage, about ½ a pound that I've pre-cooked. That should be enough. And to that, I want to add an entire package of spinach. And I have melted the package of frozen spinach and chopped it up, or I bought chopped spinach. You see, but squeeze out the juice, for heaven's sakes. You don't want that in there. The wetness will ruin the stuffed shells. And then we're going to add ½ a pound of cottage cheese, and I've drained the cottage cheese the same way. We don't want all that extra moisture, or it will be running all over the dish, and we don't want that at all. So we have some cottage cheese, and I'll put in, find another spoon here, put in about ½ a pound. I said to put it in a colander until the juice drains out. And then we'll add 3 cloves of garlic. Good Lord, Helen, there he goes on the garlic again. Yes, well, it's good for you. It's good for you. And the history of garlic is so fascinating. Every day I hear from someone who tells me some new fact about garlic, and it's just, I can't imagine what the world would be if we had not, what's the word, discovered or been given? I guess both will do. Discovered garlic or had been given garlic. How boring it would be. Sit down to sauces that were flat because they didn't have garlic. It's a great blessing, isn't it? Wonderful stuff. Okay, what else? Oh, we need the juice of ½ a lemon. Here we go. And then we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan or Romano cheese. Please grate it fresh. You'll be much happier that way. 1/4 cup of cheese. We need some salt and pepper. And don't put in too much salt, remember that. And a bit of pepper. And then for our seasoning, we're going to use, come on, pepper, go. We're going to, empty? No, not quite. Use a good French barrel peppermint. It'll work well for you. Okay, and we're going to add, for our seasoning, our herb, we're going to add a bit of oregano, a classic Italian herb. But you know who found it first? I understand that the Greeks had it before anybody else. Oregano. So put in a little oregano and 1 beaten egg, and we have our filling. And this is best to mix with your hands. Best to mix this up with your hands so you can squish everything together. There. Now, if you say to me, as you do often when I'm on the road talking with you, my kids don't eat right. They don't eat enough of this and they don't eat enough of that. How do I get them to have better eating habits? Well, get them in the kitchen when you're making this dish. That'll turn them on. Because it's fun to prepare. Boy, that's all over the place. Now, excuse me, I'm going to rinse my hands off, but it's fun to prepare this kind of thing. And if the kids do it, if they've had their, ready for the bad line? Okay. If they've had their hand in it, they're going to enjoy it much more than if it comes to the table mysteriously and they say, as I know your grade school kid says, ugh, what is that? Well, you tell him because he'll feel better, and besides, he'll have helped on it. Now, to stuff the shells, cook the shells ahead of time and chill them in water so that they're not too hot to handle. And then we'll just pick up a shell. See how big these are? Aren't they marvelous? You can find these at any good Italian market. And we'll fill them up there like so and arrange them. I'm not going to take credit for what I'm going to show you. My friend Michael did this for us. And in answer to another question you keep asking, no, it's not possible for me to cook all of this stuff when you consider we have so many things at different stages for you. So I have friends that come and help. Now, after stuffing the shells with the mixture I've just given you, Michael put some pasta sauce on it. Good spaghetti sauce. You know, you can have any kind of, don't dump it all over the place. And I'm not going to take time to fill this whole thing up, but of course you should. You make a whole pan. Don't dump it on there. Just put a little bit on the top. Dabble it on, you see? And then you put some Parmesan cheese on the top. And on top of that, you can use either mozzarella or Swiss. But Swiss has a much nicer flavor. So we've used the Swiss. And on top of that, we want to put a bit of oregano, not just for color, not just for interest's sake, but because cheese and oregano, why, they just belong together, don't they? Wonderful flavor. All right. This goes into a 350-degree oven for about, how long, Michael? Half an hour? Half an hour? Okay. We'll see what happens. His is in here. Oh, I'll put this in and cook it anyhow. Someone will want to eat that. And the cheese will cook down. You want to brown it a bit, you see? It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Let me get a... Ah, there it is. Somebody put it on. All right. Don't want to burn up our counter. Isn't that gorgeous? The shells are stuffed, you see, and the sauce will encircle the shell, but it won't seep into the filling. So you have a very delicious and I think very creative dish. You can pick up your own filling, varied any way you want. Italian sausage is great, and if you use hamburger, be sure and add a bit of fennel to your hamburger and a little bit of garlic, and then you'll have the taste of Italian sausage. That's the secret of Italian sausage. Fennel. The Greeks call it funicule, I think. I'm pretty close. Otherwise, I know I'm going to hear about it. That's fine with me. All right. Finally, I want to make a bagna cotta for you. And a bagna cotta is a, well, we did it some time ago. Do you remember a bagna cotta is a blend of olive oil, anchovies, and butter. And, of course, tons and tons of garlic. So what we want to do is to melt a cube of butter. This is for entertaining, so don't be all put out that I'm eating so much butter. I'm going to have to move this if the burner wasn't working right. We'll melt the butter down, and to that butter, we're going to add a bit of olive oil, about a half a cup, to our cube of butter. I shouldn't say cube. Some of you written me letters and, what's a cube? What's a cube? On the West Coast, we call a stick of butter a cube. So now you understand, all right? There's the olive oil and the butter. Now to that, we're going to add about 3 to 5 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to chop this garlic. So I want you to watch closely. It's easy to do, providing you have a clean board to work on, for heaven's sakes. Look at all the green tracks are from the spinach. There we are. Use the back of your knife, please, when you're scraping your board. Don't use the sharp part. You're going to dull your knife. All right. And we're simply going to dice up our garlic like so. You notice that do I have to tell you again? Keep your fingers bent under you. Stick them out and you're going to lose them. Nice sharp knife. And just keep chopping away. We'll dice that up. Doesn't have to be too small. And now we'll go into the hot oil and melted butter. All right. Now use the back of the knife again as a scraping device. Please don't use the sharp part or you'll lose out on the whole works. All right, into the pot it goes. Garlic, garlic, garlic. You say, isn't that an awful lot of garlic for 1 stick of butter and 1/2 cup of olive oil? I don't think it's too much. Now, I need 6 anchovies, flat anchovy fillets. You notice I've taken these out of the can. These are from Spain, I think. You don't want Scandinavian. Those are too sweet. You want anchovies from Spain, Portugal, or Italy. I'm going to use about a half a dozen, and I've soaked the oil. I've taken the oil off of them by letting them sit on a towel, a paper towel. I want to mash these up a bit, or chop them very fine, and they will go into the butter and oil and garlic, and you've pretty much got a bagna cotta. It means a hot bath. And in Italy, what you do is to celebrate your friends by sitting around a bowl full of this hot bath. Again, it's just a cheap excuse for eating olive oil, butter, and garlic with an anchovy center, and you dip vegetables into it. So it occurred to me, and you eat the vegetables, lettuce, leaves, onions, anything you want. It occurred to me you should make a great pasta dressing, and it's just murder. I mean that affectionately, all right? It's a very good dish. But this is not the kind of thing that you serve people you don't know. This is the kind of thing you serve people that you do know. Sometimes we have to entertain people we don't know at all. I dislike that. On the other hand, let's face it, when we set up a dinner party, we're setting up an evil image of the world. The Old Testament and the New expects us to entertain everybody. And that gets to be hard sometimes. The biblical parables, they involve taking people in off the street and feeding everyone. You couldn't do that with this dish, because some of them wouldn't care for that much garlic. All right, now we'll get some pasta. I'm going to use spaghettini this time. There we are. And the spaghettini goes into the hot water to be refreshed or brought up to snuff. There, that's about ready. Oh, the odor. Notice I'm using my hand to bring the odor over to my face. For heaven's sakes, don't put your face over the pot. 2 reasons. 1, if you have hair, don't get smart with me now, but if you have hair, it'll fall in the pot, and nobody wants that. And 2, you'll burn yourself. So don't do that, okay? Now, we'll toss our last one. and put it in a bowl here. I'm going to toss the pasta. Here we go. Toss the pasta and then put it in a different shaped dish so that each thing kind of looks a little bit unusual as we go along. And of course we'll need some cheese on that. There, is that too hot to handle? Yes, it is. There we go. Put our bagna cotta sauce on the pasta. The wonderful flavor of anchovy. And then we're going to add 1 whipped raw egg and some cheese. You won't need any salt because the anchovy is very strong. Let's whip up an egg now and we'll be ready to go. Where did I put my egg whipping bowl? Here we are. I know that some of you have caught me fooling around in my kitchen and you realize, my Lord, he doesn't wash everything in between time. No, when I'm cooking, you know, I try and cook 1 day at a time viciously. And then I want to have a good time and not have to keep washing everything, so I just keep using the thing until I'm done with the whole kitchen, and then have a good time. Finally, we're going to put some cheese on this, and a bit of pepper, perhaps, if you like, a little parsley garnish, and you have a wonderful dish. Okay, there you have them. We've prepared 4 of them for you today. Well, excuse me, I have 5. I have 5 for a pasta buffet. You need a glass of red wine, a good green salad, and you're on your way to a fine time. Quiet, Jeffrey. There, the glass of wine is important because you need the variety of good support, and this will do it. So, a tortellini salad with peas, easy to make. Make it with belly buttons. And then we have fried ravioli, a lovely sauce of Roquefort cheese dressing, and the olive salad that you must try from a Chicago cabbie. And then Michael's baked, stuffed shells, and finally, pasta with anchovy and oil. Enjoy yourself. That's what it means to entertain. This is the Frugal Gourmet. Until I see you again, I bid you peace. Bye-bye.